What's going on, guys? This is another installment of Big Gabe Straight-to-DVD reviews. I'm thinking I may have to change the name of this segment because occasionally I may be showcasing films that aren't necessarily straight to DVD. In some cases, they may have been released overseas theatrically and even gotten a limited release here in the States. But the reason why they're in this segment is the fact that in most cases, you may see the film in the video store or online and you probably never heard about it. Case in point, the first film I'm going to show you. Agora, starring Rachel Weisz from The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. But not The Mummy 3 because she knew the franchise was going to shit, so she left before it did. Very smart woman, that Rachel. She gives a wonderful performance as Hypatia of Alexandria, the famous female philosopher and atheist of the Roman Empire. The story centers around her character as she is caught in the middle between two epic religious battles in Rome. The first one dealing with the Christians pushing the pagans out, then the clash between the Christians and the Jews. While Hypatia focuses more on philosophy and the science of how the universe works, Christian fanatics are pressuring her to convert to Christianity. When she refuses, she's often looked upon as an enemy of Rome. Now, Agora is a gorgeous film to look at. It was filmed in Spain, it's got beautiful set designs, wonderful costumes, the battles are filmed well. It truly is a wonderful film to watch. The storytelling is a bit uneven at times, however. The focus should be more towards Hypatia, but you may often find yourselves more interested in the battles between the opposing religions, as those scenes are a little bit more intense than actually seeing Hypatia study and trying to figure out the science of the universe. Don't get me wrong, those are good scenes, but at times they suddenly happen when other things are happening that are just a little bit more entertaining. But I gotta recommend this movie. Check it out, especially if you're a history buff. From what I understand, the story of Hypatia is told fairly accurately, but a lot of the information on her has been lost because it has been destroyed. Other parts of the story are based on fiction. There are some fictional characters, but it's a good film, so I gotta give it 3.5 stars out of 5. Definitely check it out. Next up, if you thought he was hardcore in The Expendables, he is now totally unstoppable as the Killing Machine. I didn't make that shit up, that's actually written on the cover. That's right, Dolph Lundgren will continue to release a bunch of straight-to-DVD films. Now, the leak that this film was actually made before The Expendables, so it's barely coming out on DVD now. Dolph Lundgren directed and stars as a stockbroker by day, KGB-trained assassin by night. So yeah, as you can tell, the story's not very deep. In truth, this movie's not actually half that bad. If you're an action fan, that is. If you love hardcore action and you don't really like to think, this is definitely a movie to rent. In all honesty, the action scenes are pretty decent. Everything else is not bad, but just, not obviously not up to theatrical standards. What I do like about Lundgren is he doesn't do anything that he himself can't physically do. What I mean by that is you won't see like what Steven Seagal does, being a big fat penguin-like character, and then all of a sudden seeing a skinny stunt double kicking some ass. No, it really looks like Dolph Lundgren really is doing the action himself. The only funny thing is, since he's so freaking tall, he sometimes hunches over to shoot enemies who are beneath him. That's kind of funny. But in all honesty, with him being that big, the guy can probably be 70 years old, hit you and he'll hurt you. Not a bad movie, not a great movie. It does have some senseless sex in it. It's kind of funny. That's probably the only unbelievable part of it. Him being in his early 50s, he has sex with some beautiful 20-something-year-old. There's another sex scene that just happens in the most idiotic moment where his ex-wife learns that he's an assassin and she goes on the run with him. She's terrified. Explain to me how this is happening. What's going on? I'll explain everything. no, and then they actually have sex. That's hilarious. But yeah, check out the Killing Machine. It's pretty good. I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars out of 5. Mostly based on its action. It's entertaining. It's only 85 minutes, so if you love these kind of straight-to-DVD films, definitely worth checking out. Next up, Night of the Demons. Now, in case you don't know, this is a remake of a 1980s horror classic. If you've ever seen Night of the Demons, it's a pretty cool movie. There's some pretty good stuff in that one. A group of teenagers decide to throw themselves a little party at a haunted house or abandoned house or whatever, and they get possessed by demons. This is a little bit more elaborate as there's a bigger party that gets shut down. Those who hide away from the cops are left in the house where they get possessed by demons. Yep, that's pretty much it. The film stars Shannon Elizabeth, who you may remember for showing her wonderful fake breasts in American Pie. The actor who once had a promising career after starring as John Connor in Terminator 3. No, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That's only like your favorite movie of all time, you freaking idiot. Along with some good independent films like Pecker, American History X, Detroit Rock City. It's just sad, okay? Honestly, it's really tragic how he just, fell off. The guy became addicted to drugs and all this other shit. And in this film, my friend and I were looking at it, he's actually chunky, he's actually fat, which kind of happens when you try to go sober. So if that's the case, good for him. It's kind of sad in one scene, Shannon and Edward are in the same shot. I actually paused it at that moment, and I'm shaking my head like 2 stars who once had promising careers, well at least Edward Furlong, are stuck in a movie like this. But in reality, this isn't half bad. In terms of remakes, it's definitely okay. I mean, the original wasn't all that great either, but it was fun in a cheesy B-horror movie way. This is actually the same thing, and I'm actually happy to say this film is not overdone with CGI. They actually used traditional B-movie techniques, meaning makeup, fake blood, you know, everything you remember from 80s horror films. Now, it doesn't quite have the same effect, but it's nice to actually see a modern film, especially one that's straight to DVD, try to replicate what was once done in the 80s. This movie does do that well. Of course, the acting sucks. They focused more on getting actresses with big fake boobs. One chick does actually have natural boobs, I'll let you figure that out. But it's a cool movie. If you love horror films, if you love B-horror films, I do, it's worth checking out. As a movie, 2.5 stars out of 5, definitely. But check it out, rent it, and you might actually like it. So, Night of the Demons. Good little addition for your Halloween marathon. But you gotta see the original for sure. And its sequel, that was pretty good. Okay. I didn't want to have to do this, but I'm gonna have to turn this video into a 2-parter. Because this next movie, I really need more. I really need to go off on this one. So, click on part 2 to see my review of a complete shitstorm called Journey to Promethia.